Hello guys, I'm back from another video on the day with about what if Deku had a Yu-Gi-Oh quirk. So in the last video, Deku, well, after after Izuku fell asleep, he started going to UA for the training camp. So just like in canon, they were tricked by Aizawa, where they started falling down into a cliff. But before they can fall down and turn into pancakes, Izuku summoned out invoked Elysium. So they started flying as they finally got into into the training camp. So they started training as it's just like in canon. Also just like in canon, they met the class 1B. So after that whole thing, they started doing the whole test of courage thing, but they were attacked by the League of Villains. But unfortunately for the League of Villains, Izuku summoned out or at least called the brand new Neo Millennium Eye, which is basically the Millennium Eye but except in modern times, created by Nezu and Mr. Yayurozu. So yeah, so after that whole battle, well, All Might told everybody that they're going to be this is going to be the final battle between UA and the League of Villains. So yeah, so let's talk about what happens next. So Izuku's in UA getting ready for the final battle between UA and the League of Villains, or known as now the Society. So Izuku's basically getting all of his things ready, including his gigantic axe. As Momo comes into the room, as Momo says, "Hey Izuku," as Izuku says, "Oh, hey Momo," as she says, "So, Izuku, I wanted to ask, after this battle, will you, um, Izuku says, yeah. She says, well, can you at least marry me when we become older? As Izuku says, I'll be glad to do it. Because, after all, you are my sweetheart. As she starts blushing, as she says, oh, okay. So, when Izuku comes out, Izuku sees all of his classmates, including Class 1B and the rest of the Neo Millennium Eye. Izuku sees also, Izuku sees Raven, aka, Mr. Yayurozu. As Mr. Yayurozu, aka Raven, says, "Nice to meet you, sir." Izuku says, "Nice to meet you." So, we're going to be fighting the League of Villains. So, I hope all of you are ready, guys, because this is probably going to be our last battle between the League of Villains. As they say, yeah, as they start getting pumped up, as everybody starts going into, into large airplanes, where they're going to be landing at well, a secret island. An island that is filled with so many villains. And it also contains the HQ of the League of Villains, aka the Society. So, yeah. So, when they made it there, everybody's going to be going on stealthy for now. As Izuku summons out one of his, monsters, which is, these. So, Izuku summons out Dark Lord Ukabach and Nurse Reficule, but also Izuku summons out Alistair the Invoker. So, Izuku tells everybody, so everybody, let's go over there. Well, All Might's team will go over there. As everybody's saying, yeah, we should go. So, yeah. So, they start going on to, their areas as Izuku goes over there to, to the area where the League of Villains leader, being Dobby, is, resting. Izuku sees him as Izuku says, there he is. As Izuku jumps down, Izuku says, it's over, leader of the League of Villains. As he says, nice to meet you. The name's Dobby, but you can call me by my, original name. As Izuku says, your original name. As he says, yes, my original name is Toya Todoroki. Izuku says, Toya Todoroki. Wait, that's the last name of Shoto. As he says, yes, my brother. I abandoned my family because they were abusive. It's all thanks to Endeavor. Endeavor was nothing but abusive. He only wanted was money and fame, but you're different. As Zuka says, different? What do you mean by that? As he says, we're basically the same. Abusive families. You even even happy when you see your parents die in that accident. I saw you. As Zuka says, you saw me. As he says, yeah, I saw you. I saw you when I was in when I escaped my old home. I saw you, and your parents die. We're basically the same. We're like true brothers. So, I want to make you a deal. If you join me, I will give you tons and tons of power when I become the brand new leader of the world, where quirks are not going to be shunned. Shunned because even if you're quirkless, you'll gain power greater than any person ever with a quirk. So, if you join, you'll gain power even greater than any man. So, will you join me? As Izuku says, sorry mate, but I'm knowing not gonna join a villain. As he says, wrong choice. So, Izuku uses his axe and starts slashing at well, Toya. As Toya says, take this! As he spews out tons and tons of fire, as he teleports behind Izuku and kicks him right in the back. So, Izuku gets up as Izuku sees, Toya creating tons and tons of, dark energy as it shoots out at Izuku, as Izuku dodges them pretty easily, but Toya basically kicks him right in the back. Izuku says, dang it. As Toya says, you really think that you can actually beat me? After all, I can even steal your quirk if I wanted to. Wait for a second, guys. Izuku hears in his mind as Izuku sees, condemned Dark Lord and Alistair the Invoker of Madness. As they say, you seem to be in a really tough spot, eh? As condemned Dark Lord says, yes, Master. It seems that you need our help. So, you're ready now to use our power. As Izuku says, use your power. As they say, yes. Deal the cards that you have dealt and unleash it. As Izuku wakes up, as Izuku sees, Toya getting ready to stab him with a dark blade made from blue fire. As Izuku dodges them, Izuku says, well then, guess how to use this. Izuku manifests two cards from his hand. Izuku says, come forth from the darkness and light. As Izuku uses them, as Izuku says, I both link summon. As they see, or at least, Toya and the rest of the villains that finally, saw all of the commotion, including the heroes, they see a dark and light spire coming out of the sky. As Izuku says first, come forth from the darkness and bring forth your revenge. Come forth, Alistair, the Invoker of Madness. As they hear laughing, as he says, now you're gonna pay for what you have done to Master. As Izuku says, come forth, the condemned Dark Lord, who springs from the springs of light, but now condemned to hell. As they see from the sky a young woman with white hair and red eyes and pure white jagged skin. As she says, now you're gonna pay for Master's, disturbance. And besides, you're a villain, so time for you to pay for your sins. As Toya says, what the hell? As Izuka says, condemned Dark Lord, Alistair the Invoker of Madness, bring forth my blade. As the axe starts transforming into, a black and golden sword. As Izuku says, time for your fate. Your fate is sealed. Now face this. As Izuku stabs the sword into the ground, as several of his monsters, I mean all of his weaker monsters, like for example, not condemned Dark Lord, I meant Dark Lord Ukobach, Alistair the Invoker, and other types of monsters, including some new monsters like Dark Lord, Ixchel, and Dark Lord, wait for a second. Dark Lord Edeire and Dark Lord Superbia. They start dragging Toya into the ground. As he says, "No, what are you doing?" As Izuku says, "Go to hell. I hope to see you there." And Izuku smiles as he's dragged into the depths of the earth. As everybody looks at Izuku, as Izuku says, "Now, all of you villains are gonna pay for what you have done to society." As they say, "We surrender." As they start, well, putting their hands up. As Izuku says, "Good." As everybody's saying this, "We won! We won!" As they start celebrating, as as everybody looks at Bakugo, as he says, "No, no, no! You're supposed to be dead!" As Izuku says, "You're supposed to be dead." "What do you mean by that, Bakugo?" As he says, "You're supposed to be dead. I paid them for it. And you, how are you still alive?" As they say, "What?" As Bakugo says, "Damn it! What did I say?" As Izuku says, "So, you're the one who paid them. Why, Bakugo?" As he says, "You keep stealing the spotlight. I'm supposed to be the one that's the winner, not you. You're nothing but a busted D-lister. You're nothing. You're nothing but a useless piece of shit." Wait for a second. As everybody looks at Bakugo, as, well, Kirishima says, "Bro, that was unmanly, dude." As, well, how do I say it? All Might looks at Bakugo coldly as he says, "You paid them to try and kill us?" As Bakugo says, "No, that was just a joke." As All Might says, "You're going to terrorists if it's the last thing I do." As he says, "No, no, no." As he says, "Stay back." As Bakugo looks below him, as he sees, well, a large cliff. And it's probably high enough where if a person falls down, they will die instantly. The rest of the League of Villains were basically captured as Bakugo is saying, "No, no, I'm supposed to be the number one, not you, Izuku. I'm supposed to be the number one." As he says, "You don't deserve anything." As he says, "You're the villain." Izuku says, "What?" As he says, "I'm supposed to be the hero, not you." As he says, "If this world doesn't want me to become the hero, then guess I'll die." As he jumps off the cliff, as he falls to his death. As everybody looks on in horror, as Bakugo committed suicide. So, after that whole thing, everything, well, goes on just like in canon, but except Bakugo, well, is not there because he's nothing more than a prideful bastard. So yeah, so this is going to be the epilogue for this series. So yeah, so Izuku became the number one hero as when, well, when the police arrived to, well, try and search for Bakugo's body. Well, they couldn't find Bakugo's body anywhere. I mean, they couldn't even find a single trace of his DNA, except for, well, a piece of his clothing. So, Izuku became the number one hero as Momo became the second as Todoroki became the third. So Izuku marries Momo, as Momo and Izuku gets two children, one with the ability to create while bring things to life, like for example cards, like things like that, basically like Izuku's quirk, and the other one has the ability to create objects just like Momo. So yeah, so they were regarded as the best heroes ever. So yeah, so I hope you like this series, and I hope you like the video. Comment and subscribe, and we hope to see you guys next time. Bye bye.